Hello all, welcome back to Design Patterns. So in this video we are going to discuss the how the catalog will be organized. In the previous section, catalog will be divided. Catalog we have discussed about the catalog of design pattern. So in the catalog there are total 23 patterns. So those 23 patterns can be organized. So how those 23 patterns can be organized? So this is the way to define the organizing the catalog. So first one is purpose. Catalog will be organized in two ways. The first one is purpose and the second one is scope. So purpose is mainly categorized into again three. One is creational patterns, structural patterns and behavioral patterns. Scope is divided into two ways. One is class and another one is object. So first purpose. Purpose in this there is a purpose is categorized into three. The first one is creational. So we first I will tell the what is meant by purpose and what is meant by scope. So we classify design patterns by two criteria. The first criterion is purpose. It reflects what a pattern does. So second one is patterns can have either creational, structural or behavioral purpose. So creational patterns, what is the main use of creational patterns means it concerns the process of object creation. Structural patterns means deal with the composition of classes and objects. Behavioral patterns means the behavior means interaction. It characterizes the ways in which classes or objects may interact and distribute responsibilities. So that this is the first criterion. So first criterion is purpose and the second criterion is scope. So this purpose is divided into three ways: creational, structural, behavior. So creation, the name itself tells the creation. So what is the how objects can be created, or how what are automatically if there is any create word in that way will define the creational. Structural means deals with composition of classes and objects. So structure, the name itself tells what is the structure, how the first object defines second, third and final object can be defined. All can be deals with structural pattern. Next third one is behavioral patterns. Characterize the ways in which classes or objects interact and distribute responsibilities. So this all these under all these behavior patterns they may interact with each other. In that way we'll call it as a behavioral pattern. So this is the first criterion, purpose. Next, second criterion is scope. Scope specifies whether the pattern applies primarily to classes or to object. So what if we take the creational pattern, that creational pattern is applies to primarily to classes or object. So that defines by the scope. Class pattern deals with relationship between classes and object. If you take any pattern like adapter, so adapter is a class creational pattern or object creational pattern or class structural pattern or object structural pattern. So this deals with this scope. So class pattern deals with relationship between classes and object, and object pattern deals with object relationship which can be changed runtime. So I already told the two ways. One is class creational pattern and object creational pattern. Class creational pattern deals with relationship between the classes and object. So object pattern deals with relationship between which can be changed runtime. Whenever the dynamically if there is any changes performed in the object, that defines the object patterns. So, creational patterns differ some part of object creation to subclasses, while creational object pattern differs. So, I told that creational class creational pattern, object creational pattern, and class structural patterns and behavioral structural patterns, behavior object pattern. So, all this is the creational class pattern differs some part of object creation to subclasses, while creational object pattern differ it to another object. So next coming to the structural class pattern use inheritance to compose classes, while structural object pattern describes ways to assemble objects. The behavioral class pattern use inheritance to describe algorithms and flow of control, whereas the behavioral object pattern describes how a group of objects cooperate to perform a task that no single object can carry out alone. So this is class creational pattern and sorry object creational pattern, class structural pattern and object structural pattern, class behavioral pattern and object behavioral pattern. So next before so this is nothing but purpose and scope. Now see we'll see this. What is the purpose? In the purpose, the creational pattern, these are all the creational pattern. Factory method is a class creational pattern. Adapter is a class structural pattern. Interpreter and template method are class behavioral patterns. So coming to object, abstract factory, builder, prototype, singleton or object creational patterns, adapter, bridge, composite, decorator, facade, flyweight, proxy or object structural patterns. Next, chain of responsibility, command, iterator, mediator, memento, observer, state, strategy, visitor or the scope object behavioral pattern. So this is the way to define the class with object and purpose and scope. So this is about the organizing the catalog, how the catalog will be organized in three groups, two criterions, purpose and scope. Three groups is creational, structural, behavioral and with classes and objects. So hope you all understood about this organizing the catalog. Thank you. In the next section, we'll see the another topic. Thank you very much.